Attempt 2. I'm about to sneeze. Bless me. Hey, bless me. Okay, I did these videos in like a weird conjunction, but like I wanted to give y'all something to eat on every day instead of giving you the whole meal. But what am I gonna say here? Yeah, but keep suggesting the what ifs you want. They're not being completely ignored because I'm, throwing them out. But I'm seeing a good predominance in Naruto what ifs. I'm pretty sure by the time you see this video, I've already done the poll. And I'm probably already respond to that. So you would have to deal with future me. This is past me for your point of view. Actually, it might be present me. Oh, time. Enough with that though. All right, so how we're gonna do this bad boy is this would be pretty much after they did like the little test of like where Deku was fighting Bakugo and Ida and all them. So we would pretty much move straight into the USJ arc, right? And how I would see this playing out is a lot of stuff happens similar to canon all the way up until the Nomu pulls up, right? And but actually, let me give you a little backstory. After that fight with Deku versus Bakugo, All Might gives Deku one for all because most of y'all voted for that. Y'all like it was a superior vote. There was no competition. So when he did this, whatever, since the shadow clones are a quirk per se, this way I'm able to implement chakra, but it'll be a little different, right? So instead of it being normal chakra, it's like his energy reserves has increased dramatically, and he's like a dummy amount stronger than what he was originally. And like his physical, even one for all does what's one for all does. But now that he's has this boost, it basically had jump started his capabilities and stuff he could do. So now he's able to do stuff he wasn't able to do, which he would have been able to do with like years of training and stuff, or not necessarily years of training, but a good amount of training and stuff, right? So let me set the scene. USJ arc, the villains pop out. Deku scoffs. Like, all right, don't forget this version of Deku was quirkless for a little bit of time. So he's not cocky, but he understands his placement, right? He says, oh, this is easy, light work. He says, Shadow. I'll say he makes up a name for it, but just Shadow Clone Jutsu, right? His clones go out in the hundreds, right? And these clones are as strong as the original. And just a quick brief of how this works is he gives each clone a portion of his energy, but since now he has all for one, it increases his reserves of energy, it increases all his attributes, right? So all his clones are able to hold their own, just as if he was the one fighting. The only difference is they just don't have as much energy, but he has a nice reserve of energy. So this makes it where like he's dummy good, like he's all right, right? So he just throws out a whole bunch of clones and he sends a whole bunch of clones out to go help, right? So this is how I would play it out, right? They still get warped and stuff, like the little warping scene still happens. So one of Deku clones go off with Frog Girl and Great Minetto. I think that's it. I remember his name out of all the people's names, the irony. But they go off to their area. Everyone, pretty a good chunk of people get separated. It's still pretty similar to how it happened in canon or whatever. Those are clones, and his clones are fighting. Eraserhead can't really say nothing because like it's his clones. Like he's not necessarily going out there, and their clones are all fighting. Also, if Deku releases his clones early versus like them basically dying, right? He gets some of his energy back from that, right? And he's also been working on a new move after him and Bakugo fought. So we'll get into that new move in a moment. So they're fighting. What was minutes for me were only seconds for y'all. Now, but basically brushing off of where I'm at and stuff, right? Shadow clones are everywhere. Fighting is going off. Eraserhead goes up, throws good hands with the dude mans with the hands, right? That rhymed. Same thing happened. A Nomu, but when the Nomu gets it, right, a good chunk of the clones all see this, right? And so Deku made some clones, and those clones made some clones, right? So what those clones did was one of them disappeared just so the like I guess the second in command clone could know, and he starts running towards Eraserhead, like running. And then like right before he jumps up and hits him, all the clones dissipate and he hits the normal. But this is an all for one hit. So this hit does a lot more damage. But it doesn't like kill it or anything. It just, pushes him back. And this Deku knows martial arts and he knows hand to hand, so he's good. Like, it's not no big body damage. So he's like, So he gets some of the other clones that are nearby to come help him out. Like, I'm probably going to say they have some means of communicating. So they all have one for all, and one for all connects to all previous users. So I'm going to say they're all users. They're all the same person. So they all have like the same mind, because the clones are able to act independently, but they still have the same mind of the original user. So he like gets the clones, he balls his hand, all of his energy is concentrated into his palm. While he's concentrating into the palm, multiple of the clones are spinning this energy. Yes, the Rasengan. And so this is charging up, it's charging up, but instead of calling it the Rasengan, he calls it, let's see here, almighty rotation, or something to that effect, right? And so he's charging it up, he like just swings back and just and drills this robot. And then like right after he's drilling this robot Nomu, more clones are there, they all had their moves ready, and then they just come in and hits this man with it, right? And so this Nomu can't take it because it's like penetrating, rotating. It's doing basic what a Rasengan normally does. And like this man is just like all holy and stuff. And he's trying to like, I think he had a regeneration quirk. So while that's happening or whatever, more clones jump out of the woodworks because like the main clones are just summoning more clones, and they all just start pounding this man. While they're doing that, two more of them are literally pouring their energy into like one version. This isn't like the Shurin Rasengan. It's like it's just a mini bigger version of like the giant Rasengan, right? And so he just gives it everything. He got one final push plus ultra, right? And then after he does that or whatever, that basically blows the robot away. And I keep saying robot, the Nomu. I'm thinking of like the first part and stuff. It blows him away. Shigaraki is like, why? Who is this kid and what is this quirk? He's upset. Most of the villains have already been taken out by Deku, and the clones keep dissipating and stuff. The heroes would have already arrived or like just getting onto the scene because he was able to send out so many clones that no one could stop him. Like all the clones were getting like basically killed and captured and tortured and stuff. Not really tortured, but like warping and trying to kill them and stuff. So this man, it was like all these clones are better making it. The main clone keeps making more clones. Another clone keep making more clones until one got out, and then that clone made multiple clones. Not like 100, but like by the time they got to this last one, the other clones knew they were about to go, so they just gave away their energy and kept the little train going. So this clone was able to make, I'll say 20, maybe 30 at most, but they're like energy wise, they're not like, they don't have a lot of energy, but like physical capabilities are good, like chakra basically. They don't have a lot of chakra, but they have like, they're still good, they're still in peak condition. And so they're running off or whatever. Meanwhile, the main Deku is just sitting there concentrating, giving most of the clones a good chunk of energy, like keeping them alive, basically. So he can, watch and look, because there's not really much for him to do. His clones are doing most of the work for him. And when the heroes arrive, everyone dips out. It's that slew of a fest. The Shodoroki, I said his name earlier. The dude with the hands, he dips. I hate y'all, you're gonna pay. And you, green eye hero, blah blah blah. I'll destroy you too. So a good chunk of everything happens as per usual, and then the public's like, oh no, I can't believe that happened, and all that crap. And then we would pretty much get into the cavalry battle. And the cavalry battle's a little bit different, right? I mean, not cavalry battle, but the race. Like the race they did at the very beginning. Todoroki does his classic ice. All the people pretty much jump out. But the only difference is Bakugo is a lot more angry, a lot more sweat. So I'll say he's a little bit more stronger. So he definitely doesn't want to lose. Todoroki's hustling. Deku sits back, laughs internally. Because this Deku, he's also done some other types of ninjutsu training and stuff because he's found some scrolls up on this mountaintop that when his clones went like a while back, because he always has like a few clones out in the world doing some training. And when the clones learn a good amount of information, they like dissipate. They like kill themselves basically. And yeah, information come back to him. So one of these clones discovered like a mountaintop, and like it has some hidden scrolls, and it talks about rare people with special quirks or ninjutsu. So he's like, is this not a quirk? What? Brings up a lot of questions and stuff. And he was able to learn like a lot of other moves and stuff, right? And so one of the things is he's able to do substitution like S abilities. This is also an application of shadow clones, just for the few people that may not know this. I looked this up recently. And so some of the clones are on all the people that ran in front of him. So when the match started or like the race started, he like threw them all out, and it like landed on top of people, right? This will play in a part later. So he's literally just walking. Everyone's like, he's not gonna win like that. What is he doing? What is he doing? So Bakugo's like, yeah, y'all not gonna beat me. Todoroki's like, I will not use my father's power. And everyone's like, yeah. Everyone else is hauling, just trying to keep up, barely making it. And then he's like, excellent. So after Todoroki takes care of the giant robot, makes it fall, everyone's like, oh no. And dude with the hardening quirk, they pop out the robot, all that stuff happens, right? They're getting closer and closer to finish line. All you hear from the distance is activate, or not activate, but like some a big body like do it now, right? Everyone's like, huh? Bakugo, Todoroki, all the people that are in the place do what? They immediately feel heavy for some reason, right? And all those clones that he had on them just stomp, not necessarily hit them down to the ground and hurt them. And like in an instant, all the clones are practically on top, right? And then they send their hands out, right? And what ended up happening is the dude in the back, right? Like the clone that was in the very back, he gets the hand. He's like, oh, thank you, good sir. You're welcome, good sir. And then they all just like, ooh, hold up. They all step on all the people that they're on top of, and then they fling this dude, right? So everyone's like, huh? He gets flung like at a crazy top speed. Bakugo and Todoroki, they started like trying to jet it or whatever, right? So what happens is he's about to pass above Bakugo, Todoroki, right? They're like, as in like, hell will let you go. A bit like, y'all don't have a choice. And so he's like looking at them and like he's kind of trolling them a little bit, like flexing them a little bit, like they were like, you messed up trolling. Bakugo goes for his eyes. Todoroki goes for his ice. Bakugo goes for his explosions and stuff, right? And they're like about to hit this man, right? But 4 clones pop out of the woodworks, out of nowhere. And they say, all right, here you go. Grabs the real Deku. And like those 2 get stumped on basically. But they grab the real one and fling him. So there's 3 of them, right? One grabs Bakugo and takes him back with him. But they're all at their crazy speed. So they're all at crazy speed. So that makes him fall. The other clones grab Todoroki and make him fall. And then that one clone that was flexing on him, he like bends down. And basically that Deku jumps off on his feet and like propels him and gets kicked up. But with all for one too, that gives him a dummy amount of speed. And he like finished the races in like record time. That's why he was sitting there waiting. He was like, yeah, there's no point in me doing any extra work when I could literally just do it like this. This doesn't make Deku lazy. It makes him use his smarts a lot more, so he's actually smarter. And he also does training actually almost all the time because his clones can always do training. So he's always able to figure out his current limit. And like he himself, like the real him, can do physical training while his clones are doing like mental stuff and doing learning new techniques and going to different classes, going around seeing different parts of the world. Because some of his clones just travel for days on end. But like, you know, that's not like it might be a side story. I can make that a side story of like how his clones just do their own thing and learn stuff. But when they feel like they've learned enough, they poof. But he wins. Now it would get straight into cavalry battle. I don't see no reason for why it would change. Once again, when I do formats like this, a lot of the stuff I don't see that would really change because everyone would still be like, no, we have to beat you. But the only difference with this is they don't know which one's the real one, right? Because he's able to not just make clones of himself, he's also able to make clones out of objects, out of people. So it's a really interesting process, right? So what ended up happening is he ended up making like a crap load of clones. He's low on energy, but like everyone's just like literally going for him the whole time. Bakugo's looking, all of the stuff happens in canon, right? But the only difference is Deku stays in first place. Todoroki's in second and Bakugo's in third, or whatever order that is. And there's not much they can do. So now we would skip straight to the fights, right? And what happens is, with the fight, though, it plays very interesting, right? Because Deku instantly makes a few clones, because no one's going to stop him. But, actually, no. He'll make one clone, but no one knows it's a clone, right? It's a clone that's talking to his man. He's like, all right, the dude flexes, like, oh, you don't know the struggle, you don't know this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's not, then he says, basically, it's not the quirk itself, it's the application of said quirk. He doesn't have as much malicious towards the society like the shield hero quirk, or he doesn't want to prove the world so wrong, like when it's like in the only guy quirk, when he was the only guy that has a quirk, or one of the few selective guys that have quirk, right? He doesn't do none of that. He just kind of like, it's the application, because his quirk itself isn't necessarily strong. Just making more of yourself doesn't really sound that good, but like he uses it in unique applications. So when the dude says, I've used my quirk, he's like, he doesn't even go to the pocket. Multiple clones come out. Listen, buddy. No, you just totally relied on your quirk to win. Oh, look at you. Do you have room to talk? Yes, because I'm behind you. What are you An all-for-one punch to the jaw. Just gone. He wins that fight. Then we're going to go straight to the Todoroki fight, right? This man laughs because Deku's actually just Kool-Aiding it, right? He's just sitting there chilling. All his clones are out there just dummy fighting, right? And because he doesn't want to burn any of his stamina or anything like that. So all he's doing really is using a good chunk of his energy. Todoroki's trying to like ice everything down, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, man, why are you so scared to use your quirk exactly? Wouldn't you want to be the very best hero? Think about it. If you surpassed your father, you know how much brownie points you would have? Like, you'd be able to be like, don't talk to me. First to lose, or second best. Like, then Todoroki was like, huh. Never thought about it that way. So he goes out and tries to use his flames and stuff, and Deku's like, no. Most, like, one of the other clones just come behind Todoroki and since this isn't him, he takes the flame, takes the ice, and just doesn't kill him, but like there's a way you can knock someone out. I don't know exactly how, but he knocks the man's out, right? And then we'd get straight into, make sure I'm not skipping anything, then we'd get straight into Bakugo's fight and stuff, right? And Bakugo's fierce, but Deku's like, I've been wanting to try out this new move for a long time anyways. He does like this. A clone disappears. His eyes change color. His hands get claws-like essence. His hair becomes a little more defined. His features become a little more feline, like a cat. Because this isn't any regular stage mode, right? One of his clones discovered something, right? If he takes the time out and focuses on a particular animal, he's able to gain the attributes, right? This is akin to sage mode, right? He's only able to do this with a few ones, but his clone took the time out, trained, and did all that stuff, right? That clone made some clones doing this, and then then that main clone pooped, so the real Deku could know this. He was like, and Bakugo was like, don't think just because you're a cat, because like you can kind of tell, it's like very apparent. Don't think because you have some weird cat powers now, you'll be a chance to. Deku's in Bakugo's face, scratches him like a whole bunch of times, and then like kicks him away. You gotta forget though. Like, I mean, you can't forget though, man. Like this dude has all for one too. So this man gets pummeled, and he's like, "Oh, don't think that'll be the end of this." This isn't really a competition because the person that's fighting him is a clone. And that's the beauty. That's why I love this move so much, because there's so many applications that you can't even fathom. Meanwhile, he's sitting there fighting. You see Deku just sitting there with his hand. This is a little harder than I thought. Remember how I talked about how he was in the temples and he went to the mountains and he saw different scrolls and stuff? His power is very unique to like some ninjas and stuff. So he learned he has a few chakra types or energy types. Everyone typically has these energy types, but most of the time it's clouded and misguided and like, let me put it. Let's say everyone had the potential to control an element, right? But let's say you're born with able to control a power. The room for being able to use that psychic ability is lessened due to you already having a genetic mutation, if that makes any sense. So with the Deku mainly having just shadow clones and that type of stuff, he was able to figure out he has a few chakra types. So he mixes his normal little all rotation ball, then he uses the shuriken, then he also uses his wind nature with that, and then he's like, all right, and he says it to Bakugo like, my dude, give up now before I end this fight. He's like hell, I'll do copy. What would Bakugo call him? Split personalities or something. Like hell, I'll do that. Split personalities or something to that effect. I'm trying to think of like something. I don't know yet. And as he's doing that or whatever, he's like, all right, I gave you a chance. Do it. Clones out of the woodworks. It's like a zombie apocalypse. Clones everywhere come and grab this man. It grabs this man everywhere. So even though he's blowing most of them up or whatever, it's like it's not doing nothing. Deku walks up to this man, holding this man's L, cocks it back, and says, "Who's the loser now? Kanchan, die." He would either say die or get blown away. And then this hits him, and it's just blood's everywhere. He's like, boom, 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 boom. And it hits this man out of the stadium. And like, he just took a good amount of damage. And this is like within like a really fast time period because it happened so quick. It was like ding, 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 clones. And a lot of people didn't see it because clones were dissipating so fast because of Bakugo's ferocity. And so most people didn't see it, but then when the smoke releases, Bakugo is nowhere to find, or he is found, but he's out of the arena and bloody. Just pretty much a Kato just out. He's like, I can perfect this a little more. And that's pretty much where we're gonna leave this part off. So I'm gonna pretty much say that like the fight ends. Bakugo's like dummy upset that he lost. That's gonna make it where he trains a lot more. That may play into a future part. Todoroki's opened up his eyes a little bit more. Let's see. That's pretty much it. I'll just continue, on like I always do. But now that if you made it to this end of the video, the number for this video will be 111. This will tell me that you made it all the way to the end of the video. And you do want to try to win the free V-Bucks giveaway. The NRs, y'all can potentially win this too if y'all made it here. But I mean, I still would appreciate it even if you didn't you didn't watch the video. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'd prefer to get my watch time up because when I get to 1,000 subs, I'll be able to monetize my stuff and actually make some income. And for those that are still here, when I do start making income, the first things I will do is like buy a laptop. So I'll be able to somewhat edit my videos a little bit better. It'd still be about the same quality, which is I don't think it's that bad because I don't necessarily need to have any fancy stuff on the screen just yet. But the first things will be me buying stuff, and I will try to do more giveaways. But like first, last, Hex, y'all have a high chance of winning too. The NRs, y'all have a high chance of winning too because y'all take the time out to actually help. Y'all are constantly commenting, hey, make this, hey, make this. Y'all are constantly watching it and enjoying it, and I do appreciate that. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoy. Catch y'all later.